my career, right? Well, good morning, everyone. Are you having a great time? Yes? Oh, it's so great to be here. And today, I'm going to be presenting on Korean Immersion, not just Korean Immersion. Just last weekend, I went to the two-way bilingual immersion program conference in Palm Springs. Just came back from it on Wednesday, and I received so many new information. I kind of had to change my whole PowerPoint when I came back. So you're going to get a wealth of knowledge about dual immersion. It doesn't matter how you call it, dual immersion or dual language program. Let me just introduce myself. Sorry, wrong one. Okay, so today you're going to understand the essential information on dual language programs, and you're going to see some examples of implementations, resources, research, and effective strategies that can be used in your classrooms. All of you are teachers, right?
Yeah.
How many of you teach another language? Ooh, how many of you speak another language? How many of you speak the wonderful English only? All right, very good. How many of you would like your school to implement something else that has to do with global education? All right, very good, thank you. Okay, so yes, well, this is a little bit wrong. This is actually my 31st year as an administrator, teacher, coordinator. I started out as a bilingual teacher at Hobart Elementary School, which had like 95% Hispanic. And at that time, we still had the bilingual education, where the group of Korean students were pulled out to learn Korean, as well as English. Okay? Then I became a coordinator for bilingual program and dual immersion. As for me, I'm also a 1.5 generation Korean, which means I wasn't born here. I came from South Korea when I was in 5th grade. Okay, and there I am at a Korean parade. I loved it. Okay, I was an assistant principal at Wilton Place for 5 years, and there it went from a lower performing school to a very high performing school. We added the Spanish and Korean dual immersion program, and it quickly grew into a 2-school in one. So they literally had to build another school nearby just to relieve the expansion. Then I became a principal at Wedgeworth Elementary School, which is in Hacienda Heights, like 50 minutes east of here. And there I started a Chinese dual immersion program. And that saved that school. It went from 203 students when I got there to dramatically different than Wilton Place, where it used to have 1750. Okay, and I thought, oh my God, this is such a wonderful small school. My life is gonna be easy. And then I started the Chinese dual immersion. And after 5 years, when I was leaving, the API shot up to 973 out of 1,000, which is great, right? And then it doubled up in enrollment. So before I got there, they were talking about closing it down. After I got there and after 5 years, now they're going for the National Blue Ribbon Award, as well as rebuilding the school to become K-8. Then, of course, every 5 years, they move around the principals. So I ended up at Cedar Lane Academy, which is a feeder school for Wedgeworth. It's a K-8 school, and they thought I could do something there because there, the API was only 820. And now that API doesn't matter, hallelujah, I'm so happy about that, right? But because the see, enrollment was going down dramatically at that school site because, you know, parents wanted more, right? There, yes, I started a Korean dual immersion program. Just last school year in kindergarten, which was a 50-50 model. And I remember I was at Wedgeworth for 5 years doing Chinese dual immersion. Well, finally those kids came up to 6th grade. Yay! But only 7 kids showed up. Okay, so it's a very small start, but it's getting there. I also said, you know what? We have 74% Hispanic population. They need to maintain their heritage language. So I also started Spanish as a modern language program. Okay, so I'm just giving you a background why. This is why we're getting our students ready for 21st century, right? And college and beyond. So you, all of you teachers, why were you hired? You were hired to change the world. So I would like to talk to your neighbor, your elbow partner. Tell them about yourself in 3 sentences, your 3 primary roles as a teacher, and what is this to you? I was hired to change the world. How are you doing that? Okay, let's go. Let's begin. Citizenship. And that's not like being a good citizen in your class and acting nicely. No, that's becoming a global citizen. Okay, so how can we do that? What programs do you have to get your students ready to be excellent global citizens at your school setting? Talk to your neighbor, just for 3 sentences. What do you have? Students to become excellent global citizens. Share out. You know what? The lady who answered before, here's your prize. All right. Well.
So she said you all better speak up.
All right. Give this answer. Yes. You're welcome. Yes.
Well, we're talking about how in our school, you're saying now to start a dual immersion program in Spanish. I'm a little afraid only because in the past, we've had the same situation with a different principal, and we didn't, at the beginning, we had like a good turnout rate, but then for whatever reason, a lot of the parents said, oh, my child's going to get behind in English, and then she started.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, I'm going to show you what it needs to build up an excellent dual immersion program. The conference that I went to, 90% of the workshops were about the Spanish dual immersion program, and I can give you those resources. You need to go and learn. Your leader needs to know as much as I do, or even more, and you need to really believe it. It's not an easy task. But thank you for doing it. Let's do another cheer for her. Yes, come on up and get a prize right here, anything. All right, let's do a disco cheer. Oh, I think all of you were born in the disco era, right? Okay, so you point your finger, you become, what's his name, John Travolta, and you just say, that's the way, I like it. Ready? That's the way, I like it. Thank you. All right. Okay, so bilingual education. You know what? There was one time when my parents came and your parents came from another country, and they said, you know what? We want you to just learn English. Well, those days are gone. Okay? So here are some facts about bilingual education. There's a traditional one. So it's like the ones that you support with a primary language so that your student can mainstream into using English only. Right? The goal is what? English only. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. The goal should be what? Become bilingual. But 4 years, multilingual. Thank you. Did you get your prize?
No.
Come and get it. All right. So, yes, the goal used to be just become English only. When other countries all over the world were doing what? Become multilingual. Bilingual at least, and biliterate. There's developmental. That aims to maintain and develop the home language as students acquire English. Two-way bilingual program is different. It's for the English-only students to acquire a second language and the heritage learners to maintain and improve their heritage language. So Rosa Molina, when I went to that wonderful conference, she said this: no child has to lose a language to learn a language.
Yes.
Right on?
Yes.
Yes, come and get a prize. All right. So it provides a minimum, you have to have minimum 5 years or 6 years. So when you start it, you have to think back. Do backward mapping, okay? Backward planning. 6 years from now, where will you be? Okay, it takes 6 years, 5 years at least, to to promote that bilingualism and biliteracy. Okay? It meets the needs of the language minority students, but in most cases, it also helps the students who are already fluent in English. Okay, dual language program directory has two main types of dual language program. There is one-way dual language. Okay, it's really for the English learners to maintain their foreign language. Okay, then again, the two-way dual language program that's balanced. Okay, when I say balanced, it means it has at least 50% of instruction in English and 50% in another language. And also the group of students that are in your classroom has to be 50-50. 50% of heritage learners, 50% of English-only students. So I have students who are English-only, Caucasian, African-American, even Hispanic English-only students learning Korean or Chinese. They're becoming trilingual, some of them, right? So there's a national movement in second language learning. In 1981, there were only 5 dual immersion programs in California. Look at this now, 459 in California in 2017. Woo-hoo! All right, California. 2001 plus programs in the entire United States. That's amazing, right? There are 2 approaches. There is social activism. You want to save the students in the system. You don't save them just by turning them into an English-only child. You give them another tool to become bilingual and biliterate. Okay? It also has another approach, transformational. Change the system so that it works for the students. Okay? Because one-way approach does not fit the students who came from another country. Okay, they need different approaches. And dual language program provides that. So in Stanford report in 1993 said, proficiency in 2 or more languages should be promoted for all American students. Okay, and then two-way bilingual programs address several serious issues facing education in the United States today. So imagine if you tell a student from, say, from Korea, came and said, speak English only. What are you telling that student? Your roots don't matter. Your family doesn't matter. You should be ashamed of your parents who speak broken language, but they're fluent in another language. They're very intelligent people, but it makes you a lower person. That hurts your self-esteem. Imagine growing up feeling that way. Oh my God, I have an accent. I should be ashamed of myself. I shouldn't be. You know, it's funny how some people come from Britain and they speak with British accent. What do we say? Ooh. But if you have a Vietnamese student and they have Vietnamese accent, what happens? Oh, when is he going to learn English? And learn it the right way. Okay? That is hurting our children. It's not okay to do that. It meets the 21st century skills and more. These are all the researches. Okay, but I can't go over everything because my 5-minute got cut. Okay, but I just wanted to point out a few things like students who are in the program achieved higher English language arts performance in dual immersion classes than those who did not. It is true, because I experienced it for 31 years. Okay? By the time dual language immersion students reached 5th grade, they were an average of 7 months ahead than the students who were learning English only. By 8th grade, students were a full academic year ahead. Okay, and this is not all me. It's the America's Languages They did a research and this was their finding. Second language helps students tackle the nuances and complexities of their first language. Okay? If they can do it in their first language, they can transfer that very quickly into English. So in the past 15 to 20 years, US researchers found that English learners, even the English learners who were in the program, they perform better. Okay? Or as well as same background peers being schooled in English only. Okay, for like Chinese or Korean two-way dual immersion programs, students in grades 4 to 8 whose home language was Chinese was tested in Chinese, tested at or above their grade level, and the same as are well above peers with similar demographic profiles, participating in non-two-way dual immersion programs. You don't lose out. Okay, you gain. Okay, and these are all the researches. I'm not going to read all of them. But it did say that it helps you. High-level, high-paying employment will demand competence in more than one language. Okay? I got hired because I was bilingual. Because there was a bilingual program. Okay? My husband has, he's Korean, but he learned to speak some Spanish. That really helped him to run his mall in Moreno Valley. Okay, so I mean, he's not fully bilingual, but it really helped to speak that language. There has to be essential items in place to have a dual immersion program. Those are 3 pillars: bilingualism and biliteracy, high academic achievement, cross-cultural competence. Those are the 3 pillars. So cross-cultural competence, what does that look like in your school? When I walk into your school, is there a greeting in Spanish, English, Korean, Chinese? Is there an aide or an office staff who speaks another language to support your audience? Okay, what else is there? Do you have multicultural days? Do you celebrate Hispanic month? Asian month, Lunar New Year. Okay, those are all the things that we celebrate to get our students to be cross-cultural, to gain that competence. Bilingualism and biliteracy, it's not all about just talking. It's about reading, writing, listening, speaking. Okay, you want to be as good as what English-only students are in English language arts and in foreign language arts. High academic achievement, you want to be ready, college and career ready, and you want to become global leaders. Of course, I'm not saying English only is bad. I'm saying for some students, it's a must. Okay? It's an additive language instruction you want to give. So the goals of a dual language program, you want to develop high levels of proficiency in first and second language. You don't just say, oh, English is not important. It's most important thing, right? You live in United States. You perform at above grade level, at or above grade level in academic areas, in both languages. So you teach math, science, social studies, PE, music, art in another language as well. And you demonstrate positive cross-cultural attitudes and behaviors at high levels of self-esteem, okay, so that you go out there being proud that you're bilingual and bilingual. Yes?
Is it like an elective or is it mandatory for students?
Okay, nothing is mandatory in America unless parents say so, right? So you recruit, you say you want to have this program, you give the research, you give the survey to the parents, and you survey the parents if they want it. And you start with kindergarten, one class. So if you have 24 students or 25 students who want this, because their parents believe in it, that's where you start. And then you start growing. So that's what I did at Wedgeworth with one class. And I did a survey of the community. They wanted traditional Chinese. There were lots of Taiwanese. And then it grew from there. Now they have 5 kindergarten dual immersion programs. 5. So all the kids are going there. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? But they're eventually coming to our school for 6th grade. So criteria, again, 4 to 6 years minimum. Okay, subject matter instruction has to be challenging and relevant. All the things that you learn about Common Core and all that rigor, that needs to apply when you're teaching another language. Formal language arts instruction in both languages, separation of instruction. So you don't use Spanish or Korean when you're teaching English only subjects. Okay, you have to totally separate it. So we usually have teachers have a sign saying English only during that time or Korean only. Okay, whether you learn no or not, think about it. All these kids came from another language. They learn English. Sooner or later they will learn. But of course you have to be a good teacher. Right? Additive bilingual environment. So you need to stress the development of 2 languages, not using just one to learn the other. Balance of language groups 50-50. There are guiding principles for dual language education. These are the 7 strands. Okay, there's the assessment and accountability. So tell your principal, does he or she know the guiding principles? These things have to be in place. Well, maybe not from the very first. You get that in place by hiring the best teacher you can ever hire. And that teacher will help you get this done. So you have to have the assessment and accountability piece. You need to have the curriculum, the correct curriculum. That's Common Core state line for California and everywhere else. And instruction has to be derived from research-based principles of dual language. And you have to use the instructional strategies that help a second language learner. Okay? Yes. Okay. The 4th one is the staff quality and professional development. If you can't afford to send your teachers out to conferences or places like this, you can't do it. You can't just think that this teacher will just learn everything. Like I learn all the time when I go to different conferences. The best ones are like the ACFO conference in November. 2-way bilingual immersion program. The adult is every year too, and especially for Spanish dual immersion. There's National Chinese Language Conference for Chinese instructors. There's ICANN for Korean language. Okay. Program structure also needs to be in place and be effective. Okay? Then you also need to include the family and community. I have our multicultural festivals all the time. We have Lunar New Year celebration. We have September Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. We have the Black History Month. Okay? And then you bring in the community for your meetings. We have the Dual Immersion Advisory Council. Okay? And then support and resources. You need to make sure that your district can support you and help you with funding. And you have to reach out to other agencies. Like for the Korean program, we reached out to the Korean Education Center. They give us $35,000 seed money. So with that, we can do after-school programs like Taekwondo, arts, performing arts. additional Korean language.
그럴 필요 없을 것 같아요.
So
병문 하얀력이
dual language are non-negotiable. So in elementary school, this
한쪽 부분은
어.
거울이었고요. 저쪽 뒷면에
oh, there you go. At elementary level, it has to be 50-50 or even 90-10. Can you imagine 90% in another language? Well, a lot of Spanish dual immersion programs start with 90-10. Okay, so they learn 90% of the day in Spanish first. Okay, and there's also 70-30. Okay, I prefer 50-50 because of this. So you don't want to stop at elementary level. Can you imagine stopping to learn math after 5th grade? And you expect when you're an adult, you'll be fluent in math? No. You need to continue in middle school. So in middle school, at our school, we have a 0 period for our students. They come in for Chinese language arts early in the morning. Then they take social studies and it's all done in Chinese. And then the other 2 content areas, English and math, and social study, science, those are in English. In high school, your goal is to go through kindergarten through 12th grade and then hopefully take the AP classes. I know Korean is not available, but there's a new exam to help. There's Chinese, Spanish AP classes. At the end of the year, you can also be in IB program or get that bilingual, what is that, literacy certificate. Okay, seal of literacy. And that helps you to get into excellent schools. Okay, so you want to be a dual language educator, teach another language, it's a lot of work. I did it, and of course you're doing two jobs, pretty much. English is so much easier. You have your curriculum, you have your books, you have your PDs. But to do another language, you're pretty much selecting your own curriculum. And then you are translating a lot. So unless you're a very competent teacher, you can't do it. So you have to be competent, committed. You can't quit. Constantly learning by going to conferences, reaching out to other places. In dual language classroom, you have to have evidence of program alignment. There should be master plan, posted language objectives in 2 languages, instructional materials in both languages, evidence of promotion of language and cultural equity. Okay? You use scaffolding, you use charts, you use word walls. On one side, you have all Korean. On the other side, you have all English. Okay? It has to be equal. Once you start saying, oh, I'm gonna do a little more English, what would the students think? It's not that important to learn Korean. So they won't listen to you, right? They'll tune out. You don't want that to happen. Culture of high expectations. We treat our dual immersion program students as GATE students with very high expectations. In the end, the scores will shock you. They really outperform everyone else. Okay, clear system that positively reinforce active language learning. Like you have bilingual pairs, you switch signals, you have color coding of print. You know, red for Korean, blue for, English. So they know. Students are using the walls, their learning environment, as their learning purposes. Teacher is a language model. You don't want to use slang, you don't want to be informal. Just the way you teach English, you want to teach that other language. Okay? Student-centered, language-rich, interactive activities. I go into the dual immersion program classes, and oftentimes students don't talk. Teachers do. They learn how to listen well, but they need to speak. Even if it's a broken Korean, they need to speak, right? We have to speak in English. Okay, so you can't just let them just listen and you just pretend like they got it. No, they need to be able to speak and tell you that they got it. So you also have to have this for other elements of 21st century skills. The rigor needs to be there. Relationships. You don't want Korean students versus English only. No. Okay? Build good relationships. Relevance. Use of technology. And student-centered classroom and lots of student engagement. Things like, this is from Doug Fisher, who does a lot of training at our school district. These three essential questions needs to apply in a foreign language program class too. What am I learning today? Are they able to answer in their language? Why am I learning this and how will I know I have learned it? There are challenges. For example, it's hard to include staffing. It's hard for staffing, curriculum development, program articulation. Oftentimes, principals or district, they don't know how to prepare the teacher they hired. Okay? Sometimes, some teachers from maybe Asia, they often have different set of expectations because they went through K2 college in another language. And they need support for classroom management strategies and techniques. Okay, sometimes we do lack the necessary resources and like specialists in the district who can assist. Just like you have district specialists who help with the math, science, and English, we need that for another language. But oftentimes, districts don't have that. They just rely on the principal. Okay? Sometimes they don't. There are some watered down dual immersion programs that hurt the students. So you don't want that because that can hurt the students and they don't quite achieve like that native-like level of proficiency in English. Okay? So Korean dual immersion program, I just wanted to touch a little bit on it. It was established in 1992 as a bilingual education program. Okay? Right now, it's already gone from kindergarten through 12th grade because it started like 15 years ago when I was a teacher. Why learn Korean? Because it connects you to 75 million people around the world. And you love to watch those Korean dramas and listen to the K-pop, right? Okay, and come to these wonderful museums. Wouldn't you love it if you spoke the language and understood, right? But you also want to prepare our children for our future, knowing another language and giving them an additional tool. You know how wonderful is that? More than anything else. Even better than the technology tool is another language. Okay? So, I'm gonna skip here. So, just Mrs. Kim, raise your hand. She is I hired her as our kindergarten Korean dual immersion program teacher because she's an expert. You have to hire them, right? Go and steal. So this is her 50-50 instruction and how it looks like. So you have the English here and then Korean. And then sometimes you swap. You see how you do things differently. Okay? This is kindergarten. Now next year we are growing, so we have kinder and first grade. And I have snatched another wonderful LAUSD dual immersion teacher. Okay. ICANN is a great resource. We have the online content. When I say that, I mean pre-K, like K to 16 content,
빨리 해야지.
all on this
컴퓨터
ICaneducate.org. It's all free for you. You could download everything. There's language arts, social studies, science. There are videos, music, everything you need here. And textbooks you do have to purchase. But if you go online, it's all free. And then we have free PDs that's coming up. Oops, I didn't include that one. But like the free PDs that's coming up October like 24th, they're 14th at the JJ Grand Hotel. If you're coming from another state, we help you. ICANN will even pay for your hotel and transportation. Come and learn about the dual immersion and different strategies teachers must learn. We don't just do on dual immersion. It's on special ed. It's on technology, Google Classroom, how to become a leader. Okay, so if you are interested, see Mrs. Kim. We are co-presidents. Okay, so other things that I strongly recommend for all of our teachers, especially dual immersion program teachers, is the Canadian cooperative learning. This doesn't apply just for English-only classroom. You know, oftentimes, like I said, we don't have enough interaction and student engagement in a dual immersion program. So I was gonna go over some of these, but I have 0 minutes left. If you have any questions, you can go on this cal.org. Oh my goodness, it has millions of resources on dual immersion. Or you could email me, okay, and I'll get you some. So James Crawford, he's a famous writer, lecturer, and advocate, says perhaps someday to become Americanized will no longer mean to become monolingual. Amen? Okay. All right. Any question? All right, so we're gonna end with another cheer. All right, because we all sat through very nicely, and we always wanna say that you did a great job, right? Okay, so which one would you like to do?
The rain chair.
The rain chair. Okay, so this is how it goes. You go start with a small rain, right? Raindrop. Okay. And then you go and then you can even use your feet. Okay? Okay? All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Oh, the PowerPoint? No, that one. Oh, the email. Okay, let me give you the email. Thank you.
Yeah, the
Oh, it's a copy of the.
Yeah.
Come on, take a picture. Okay, and then going, and then take a picture. You know what? Let me tell you something. I downloaded this from a website. You could just go 5 cheers, Google it, you just download it, because our teachers were so shy in the classroom and in the staff meetings. I said, let's do these cheers. So easy. Raise the roof, everyone. Last one. Ready? Raise the roof. Go. Open face palms up and down. You raise the roof and you go, woo, woo. Very good. Thank you. Okay, I also have this. This is a postcard of our school with our dual immersion program information and my contact numbers. So if you want, they're right here. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.